Hello there and welcome to Most Valuable Promotions and Real Fight Inc.'s Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz MVP face-to-face. I'm Ariel Helwani here at Happiest Hour, the best damn sports bar in all of Texas, for the launch of Paul versus Diaz's long-awaited fight week, presented by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks and live on DAZN pay-per-view globally, of course, this Saturday, August 5th. We will all witness the long-awaited clash between UFC icon Nathan Diaz and the global disruptor, the combat sports bad boy himself, Jake the Problem Child Paul, as they go face-to-face in a 10-round pro boxing bout. So we have been talking about this fight for quite some time, and I'm told they are in the building. And so without further ado, let's get to it. Paul Diaz, face-to-face, here we go. All right. Let's get into it. These guys obviously need no introduction. That is Nathan Diaz. That is Jake Paul. As I said, August 5th here in Dallas. We are rapidly approaching one of the most anticipated fights of 2023. We saw each other in May at the press conference, but we are approaching that time when there is no need for talking. One last stop. It's this little endeavor that we're doing here today. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it very much. Nate, I'll start with you. You've been in the UFC for quite some time. You had a very long career over there, and you were always preparing for a mixed martial arts fight. Obviously, you're still a martial artist. I know you still train jiu-jitsu. I know you still do everything that you love to do in the gym. But to prepare for a singular discipline, a boxing match in your pro debut against this man, what was that experience like for you leading up to August 5th?
It was one-dimensional, working on the one craft, and felt like a fight camp. It's good.
I see you looking at Nate quite, intensely.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind as you look at him right now?
Just looking at my prey.
Was there any concern that he wouldn't show up to this?
For sure. I told my team, I was like, he's going to play games, try to be late, do his typical thing, which is all good. I'm professional. I'm on time. It's no worries. At the end of the day, he's going to show up to the fight. He always does, and that's all that matters.
Some people have been talking about, the way you promoted the fight and your motivation for this fight. Can I ask you, how motivated are you to beat this man on Saturday?
I'm just as motivated as always. Every fight I come to win, and motivated.
He obviously was critical of the press conference and the way you promoted it. Do you think that criticism was fair?
Wait, what was it?
You're talking about the press conference and the way the fight was promoted. Do you think that was fair?
Like, how do you mean fair?
Meaning, you are who you are. You haven't changed much over the years, and yet it seemed like there was an expectation for you to do more. People are always expecting you to be the bad guy, this and that. To me, it felt like you were just the same old, Nate that we've seen over the last few years. And so I know a lot of scrutiny came after that press conference, and I was wondering if you thought that criticism was fair.
Yeah. However you guys want to make it, fine with me. I feel like they always think I'm the bad guy, but I'm not trying to be.
And so, when you started this endeavor, you against the world of MMA, against the UFC stars, it always seemed to me like this was potentially the final boss, so to speak, right? You go from Askren to Woodley, obviously Anderson Silva, big deal, but this is maybe the most beloved fighter in the history of the UFC. No one really hates this man, right? Everyone has a soft spot for him and his brother Nick. Do you view this way? Like on Saturday, if all goes...
A couple of them don't like me, though.
I feel like deep down they still love you. They don't say it. Even Connor has been very complimentary of you throughout this process. And I'm just wondering if this represents the final boss for you. Like on Saturday, if all goes according to plan, are you done with your feud with mixed martial arts?
I mean, most likely. I don't know. There's not many of them left to beat. And he has a big name, obviously, is a UFC legend. So unless Dana lets Connor fight me, this could be the final boss of MMA for sure.
Leading up to the Askren fight, the Woodley fights, even Anderson, they all said, I'm not doing this for MMA, even though he has poked the bear, so to speak, of MMA and the UFC in particular. Do you feel comfortable kind of representing the sport in being the first guy from MMA to beat
Yeah,
Jake
I'm not
Paul?
trying to represent MMA like that. I'm just trying to represent myself and my team and what I do. And the whole fight's been with MMA because MMA is where it's at. There ain't nobody's watching boxing. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to boxing because boxing is great and I love boxing and we need boxing for sure because boxing, for one, is great. And if people aren't watching boxing, then MMA fighters don't look like shit in their setup anyway. So at least even though they're not the best, they're trying to be and they're trying to do it right like the boxers. And anyway, this is the MMA show altogether. You know, me, me. He wants to fight an MMA fighter, so the MMA fighters bring the show, and then it's me, and then it's, we got Jeremy Stevens and Chris Villa, and then that's bringing a lot of attention to things. So even though we're boxing, we're doing one limited part of fighting. It's MMA based.
Is this somewhat like surreal for you? Like that's an icon right there. That's Nate Diaz. I remember you did the videos and all that stuff. It seemed very far-fetched. Is it wild that we're like hours away now from you fighting Nate Diaz?
Yeah, no, it's definitely pretty surreal. I guess manifestation is one of the most powerful things in the world, and I manifested all of this into existence. But it is funny to be, going from my dad's little like blue couch in his living room watching this guy on UFC cards to now fighting him in a boxing match in probably one of the biggest events of the year. Very, very surreal, and it's just a testament to hard work. And I look to be an inspiration to like young kids out there who have these crazy dreams or goals or desires to manifest them into reality. And if I can do it as a kid from Cleveland with no knowledge of this whole entire industry, then so can those kids at home.
I'm not telling you anything you don't know. A lot of people are picking you. The odds makers are picking you. Even your old foe, Eddie Hearn, very confident in his analysis of this fight. Are you surprised by how many people are picking you and kind of to a degree like the disrespect that has been shown to him?
I'm not surprised at all, actually. Like, my skill is superior. I think people see that. Obviously, he's tough, but in boxing, tough will get you hurt. It's different than MMA. In MMA, you can be tough. You can go to the ground. You can hold when you're hurt. You can take breaks, all this. In boxing, being tough gets you hurt. This is a sharp game, a skill game, a chess game, and I think people see that even though he's been boxing for five times,
and so is MMA,
but he's been boxing for 5 times longer than me, and I have more skill level than him in boxing.
Do you agree with that?
Well, shit, that's up if he does, but that's his opinion.
How would you rate him as a boxer?
I think he does great, but we're gonna have to see Saturday. So.
When you hear people like Eddie Hearn and some of the guys in boxing not giving you a chance,
if you don't have anything positive to say about me on the real, you. That's what I have to say.
do you feel like
because I don't have anything negative to say about them. So why don't you just keep your mouth shut? That's how I feel about it.
Do you feel like you've been disrespected?
Yeah, that's the name of the game, though. We put ourselves on the stage to fight people, and people have that criticism. I'm in sixth grade. I'm fighting at the park, and then I go home, and I'm hearing how I didn't fight good or some shit, and then now I'm in a new fight, and then I hear somebody criticize that fight. I'm in a new fight, and this carries on forever. So it comes with the territory, and pull up with the criticism. I don't go.
What it seems like to me is it's a lot of people who haven't seen you fight throughout your career dissecting like a 13-second clip that they see on the internet, and they're like, oh, he's not going to be this kind of boxer.
Yeah, but what do they know?
Yeah, exactly. So
what do they know? What does anybody know about that? And that their opinion shows how much they don't know. For when, like, what are you talking about? The hit Mitch clip? That's my kicking coach. I'm hitting Mitch with. It's a whole another story that nobody else knows about. And if they want to get a real fight, kick to the face. And especially if you're criticizing the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing in boxing. I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what you're doing about fighting. You get slapped with a face kick. You know what I'm saying? Or a body kick, then a knockout. They don't know nothing about that. So that's when people talk of that, that's like small children talking, like people who could box talking, and not knowing that I got girls in my class this big that'll out you and you up, choke you to sleep. So unless you know what you're talking about, why are you talking?
Will he be your toughest opponent to date?
Yeah, I think he has that warrior mindset more than anyone that I fought.
I like the warrior and the tough and the good cardio. Like not, but everybody, they say this. Like, yo, maybe I'm just better than you. He's got good cardio. He's tough. That's a loophole in saying. Like I got people I've been training with for years, top level people have been saying he's tough. He's got good cardio. Beat your from round 1 to round 8. That means I'm better than you. So
what about round 9 and 10?
Like I said, yeah, I hope I don't lose in round 9 because remember I pushed from 8 to 10. Right?
Why did you do that?
I just him. He didn't want to fuck. He was doing 8 rounds. I'm like, you don't want 10 rounds? I don't want 10 rounds either. I want 2 rounds. I'm tired of just thinking about it.
Why'd you agree to 10?
I'm down for a challenge always, you know, and
Can we change it to 6? That's why I'm curious.
Don't you have the advantage though? Everyone says that he has the poor cardio, so isn't it to your advantage?
his team said, okay, you have the advantage in the beginning, but Nate's gonna have the advantage at the end. I was
That's
like,
what
okay,
that's what the
excuses.
people say though.
I don't want any excuses once I beat you.
That's what the people say is he's got good cardio. He's tough. Give me 2 rounds.
You think that's all?
If that's what we're doing. No, I don't I don't give a but I'm deal with what I'm dealt, you know. I'm like, so be it. Let him make it happen.
I just wanted you to finish your thought. I asked you, toughest opponent to date, tougher than Tommy Fury, tougher than Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley. Would you rank him above all those guys as a boxer from what you know of him?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tommy Fury is a very excellent boxer, but I think Nate Diaz brings something different to the table, and it's this relentless style, this forward pressure, taking lots of damage and not giving a returning that damage more than what his opponents are giving him. And that is sometimes more difficult to deal with than a really good boxer. So we're prepared for him. I know he's going to be tough. I know he's a warrior. I know he doesn't want to lose. Everything's on the line here for him, right? He's coming off a hot win in the UFC. He's coming over here, wants to come back with a W, then go back to doing whatever it is that he was going to do on his career plan. But I have the opportunity to put a stint in all of that and to do what no one else has ever done, and is to knock him out, and that's what I plan on doing.
Is your plan to go back to the UFC after this?
My plan is to fight him, and then when I get done with that, I'm gonna know what I'm gonna do. If I win, then I'll talk to UFC and see how they feel. If not, all is good. I'll do what I gotta do. If I lose, I'm finna haunt life. What else? That's what fighting is. I'm trying to scare you, so don't try to scare me.
You're what?
I said, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying that's what it is with everybody I fought.
No, it's kill or be killed.
There's no losing, because if there's losing, then you have to deal with me forever.
Are you at peace with that idea? You have to deal with him forever if you lose to him.
I don't necessarily understand the concept.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't. You're new. But that's what it is. It's all good. That's the fight game. That's what it's with whoever, anybody.
I have to deal with.
Meaning the loss will haunt you forever.
Oh no! I mean, I just lost and made $30 million.
The loss will haunt you?
It doesn't feel like a loss. I'm in a bigger fight now. You know what I'm saying? It's only a loss if you let it be a loss. I learned from it. Got more focus after it. Brought in a whole new team. Became a better person, a better man after that. Reset my priorities and my focuses. So it was actually a win. And it's only a loss if you let it be a loss. And I've already won in everything.
That's what I've been saying.
I've already won in everything. I've made it to the biggest level in 3.5 years.
How many times I lose? What's my record again? You told me last time.
I don't something.
Can't remember.
brought
Hella
14.
times. Then
16
and then I'm back, and then I'm
10
back,
or-
and then I'm back. I'm on the highest level again and again and again. Anyways, that's what I mean, high. I got people that beat me like 13 years ago. They're trying to fight me now, last year, the year before. Man, who really won? There ain't no losing in my world.
You know what's interesting? They just announced earlier this week, first time ever, DAZN and ESPN coming together to put on this pay-per-view. It'll be the most distributed and seen pay-per-view of
Has that ever
2023.
been done or no?
That has never been done. These
That's
two
first
entities.
time?
Yeah, first time ever. And so I'm wondering, do you think that is happening because of you or because of him?
Either way, both ways. Either way, good job. Good job, Jacob.
Good job, Nathaniel.
Do you think it's because of
High
his
five
presence?
in the air.
His presence or your presence, or is it the both of you combined?
The both of us, you know. I think this is such a massive fight. It crosses so many audiences. He's done the numbers. I've done the numbers, and it's very interesting. And I think that's what makes it probably the biggest fight of the year. And that's what all the numbers are showing in the lead up. The commercial pay-per-view is trending higher than it's ever trended for any of my fights. Ticket sales higher than they've ever been for any of my fights. So clearly people want to see this, and that's why the biggest platforms are always going to want to get involved.
You know, it's interesting. Covering his career for a very long time, he has always said that he would never fight someone who has fought his brother, right? You didn't even want to fight on the same card as your brother, Nick, right? And so when he left the UFC, he was, you know, the biggest free agent in combat sports. And for the longest time, I had heard that there was a chance that he would fight your brother, Logan. And it almost seemed at one point like it was at the goal line. And then you somehow swooped in and got the fight when you're almost competing against your brother. How did that all play out? And was that awkward that you were both going for the same opponent?
No, I think we had always wanted to do this fight. And once he became a free agent, those talks started right away. And my brother was the one trying to swoop in and take it from me, the opposite way around.
How'd you feel about that?
It is what it is. Business is business. You know, it's not new Logan behavior.
But I mean, that's your fight. Like, if his brother was going for Mr. X, he would never swoop in and try
They're
to fight
different
that
though.
guy.
They're different. They come from somewhere else. It's good. Well, they're businessmen too, first or whatever, and it's just different situations, bro. I wanted to fight him the whole time, but out of it too, because he's the fighter. He's the one who's been fighting everybody.
Okay. So he was your top choice as well.
Well, when he lost the fight, I was like, he didn't lose the fight. So you only lose if you lose. So that was the fight to take. I don't want to fight his brother. His brother was there also. The option was there too, and it was a good option for sure. But he's been fighting actively and been knocking people out and shit. I'm not trying to fight the brother that's playing around and part-time fighting. He's obviously full-time fighting. That was my problem in the UFC is they wanted to give me fighters who were whatever. And my whole career I fought, I was like, no, give me a better guy than that. And then they're like, no, you're not getting that guy. So I wouldn't fight. I'm like, well, I don't want to fight. No, I want to fight the guys who are fighting actively and winning it impressively. And a lot of people think that this will whip my ass all over the place where I live, where in the world, because that's the effect he made. And I'm like, yo, I refuse to let that everybody's talking about whipping ass be the ass whipper. So the question wasn't for me, huh?
No, it was actually a great response. But
he's the guy to fight.
You know, what's my takeaway from that? A lot of respect being, shown you, towards you, about you. Like
Yeah, but I'm not trying to be like. It's not trying to be respect. It's just what it is. This guy's the guy knocking out all the 5-time champions and.
Yeah.
How many times Willie won?
4 or 5.
The belt? Yeah, something like that. And then Anderson's a man and all that. I'm like, yo, I'll fight the guy who fought him. I don't want to fight. I already fought his brother.
Sort of, yes. Doppelganger. But So I'm just curious, do you have that same respect for Nate?
Yeah. No, I do for sure. Yeah, he's a UFC legend. Are you allowed to talk about that?
I'll talk about whatever I want.
The reason I asked if you had that same respect, I know you obviously are a fan and watch him, but there were some things leading up to the fight, like the prank calling, the little toy that you had at the press conference talking about his record, which may come across as disrespectful. So why?
It's just fun. It's just fun. I'm having fun. That's all it is. And that's all that matters is, as a human, if you're happy and having fun in life, then that's all that matters. So I have a ton of respect for him, but I could still poke and prod him and make the promotion fun and entertaining. That's what I do. I make content. I make myself laugh. And that's, to me, what's fun about this sport is the lead up, the promotion, the event, everything about it I love. But I have a ton of respect for him. 100%. He's a UFC legend. That's why this fight is so big. He's a warrior. He's been, put on some of the greatest fights in the history of the MMA. He has an amazing fan base. Obviously, people love him for a reason. And I know he's coming to bring a war. That's what it says, ready for f***ing war. And I think the fans are the ones who get to win the most out of all of this because we both don't want to lose. We both don't want to back down. And
Are you coming back? All right, he's going. Good.
Well, just got word that he is in fact not coming back, so perhaps it wasn't a bathroom break. How do you feel about that?
I think it's hilarious, actually.
Why?
It's just funny. Like he's like a insane individual. Like he's like sick in the head or something. I don't know, but it's very entertaining.
Is it annoying?
I'm entertained right now.
You're not annoyed at all?
Not at all. I think it's funny as and like now just all the pages are just gonna put Nate Diaz leaves face to face. Like
except it was during like a really nice moment. You were complimenting him. So
yeah, but he probably doesn't like compliments, Ariel.
You think it would have been better if you were disrespectful
if I would have
and
demeaned
swearing
him?
at him?
If I would have demeaned him, he probably would have stayed. He's like he likes BDSM.
One of the last things I was going to ask him was, you put out the tweet, you'd like to fight him in MMA, in PFL, $10 million for the rematch. To the best of your knowledge, has he said yes or no to this?
I think he's kind of like in the middle. I think he's wanting to see what happens Saturday and then maybe explore that option for sure. I think when I beat him on Saturday, he's going to want to get revenge.
And you'll do it?
Well, 100%.
The offer doesn't expire before the event or anything like that?
No, I'll do it regardless. I think it'd be fun to do an MMA fight, to test my skills, to train in a new craft. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, think that I could beat him.
Really?
And when I do that, it's like the world will go into a fucking frenzy. Yeah.
So you think you could beat him in boxing and MMA?
Yes.
Back to back?
100%.
Would it be an immediate rematch? Would that be the ideal scenario, or would you need an extended period of time?
I think I would need like 8 to 9 months to train MMA specifically. But people forget about my wrestling background. So if I'm the better striker and he tries to take me down to submit me, he's not going to be able to take me down. My takedown defense is great. So really then it becomes a standing up fight again. So then there's like kicks, obviously, which is what I would take 9 months to learn. But then it's really just a boxing match again.
How do you win on Saturday?
Sharp boxing. Everything's on point. All my punches are crispy, footwork crispy, high work rate, high output, strength, strong, faster than ever, amazing cardio. And he's going to run into the traps that I'm going to set for him.
Knockout or decision?
It's going to be a knockout. TKO maybe, but my goal is to be the first person to ever put him unconscious. KO.
Wow, what a scene that would be. Jake, thank you very much for the time. Appreciate it. Nathan, thank you so much.
Thank you,
This was a
Nate.
blast. I really enjoyed it. And hopefully everything's okay. And we will see you very soon.
Shake his hand.
There he is. Always the professional. Thanks for watching.